welcome back to another edition of Good Morning KU. I am your host, Gus Balo.
And my name's Johan Marin. So there was a football game this weekend.
Yes.
Unfortunately, KU lost against Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
But it happens now and then. And I know that you've had experience actually covering these types of games. What's it been like covering a bad game once in a while?
You know, it's good because it's honestly a good experience still, because it really shows how good of a broadcaster you can be if you're covering a team or covering a game rather that's not maybe the most entertaining. They had a tough game last week against Oklahoma. The Sooners losing 62-9 at Norman. It was not a great game by really anybody. But this team is still very young. They have a lot of very young guys. Their freshman quarterback, he's younger than me, and I'm 18.
Oh, really?
And he's only been 18 for about a couple weeks. The quarterback.
Oh, dang.
So you have to kind of take a look at everything, and it's a very young team with a lot of inexperience. So it may take time with this team, but I'm still hopeful for the future. And no matter what game it is, it's still fun to call because you're still calling a Power 5 conference, which is still a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
So it's still great to be able to do it. And even if it's not a great game per se, it's still fun to do.
Definitely. And I think it's all about that experience mostly that counts.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But definitely. Also, I did want to note that KU is offering free COVID-19 testing for those who are planning to go back home for Thanksgiving break.
Yeah.
Have you heard anything about this?
Yeah, I actually have to do that. I'm from Massachusetts.
Oh, nice.
Go Boston.
Yeah.
Go Boston, shout out. I'm from Massachusetts, and they actually are requiring you to get a COVID-19 test if you're coming from a certain state 72 hours before you arrive. So I will have to participate in that. I think I'm getting tested like the Sunday before I leave, so I can fulfill that testing requirement from Massachusetts. So I'm looking forward to making sure, and it's also a good thing too, just for family and all that because of the holiday and whatnot. So it's a good thing to get tested and know that I'm good going home. So I'll be good.
Definitely. I mean, I can't really relate. I'm only 30 minutes away, but even then I have family members who are in risk of COVID, so it's better safe than sorry, right?
Yeah. So obviously the election, the Electoral College is now up to 279 as we last checked this morning. But obviously on Saturday was the big day. Joe Biden has been elected president. He's now president-elect of the United States.
Yes.
And in Lawrence, there were a lot of people who were happy. There were some celebrations in Lawrence on Mass Street on Saturday. I was not there, but what did you think of all that?
It was honestly crazy. There were people driving by, honking their cars, people shouting, people yelling, people holding flags, signs, supporting Joe Biden. And not just those types of supporters. There was also people who were supporting Donald Trump, which was also nice to kind of see both perspectives.
Yeah, for sure.
And it was honestly, I think, a memorable day, not just for Kansas, but every other state in the US.
It was, there were also some demonstrations in Boston, too. A lot of it was, a lot of people were out celebrating Biden being elected president of the United States. And I was, and it was crazy just because, obviously, in Lawrence, I didn't know exactly what was going to be happening after they officially called, they projected Biden over 270.
Right.
But it was still nice that people were able to go out and kind of do, show their support for their candidates. And obviously, you had people on all different sides across the area. So it's definitely nice to see that for sure.
Right. It definitely was a nice turnout. But we are right around the end of the semester, huh?
Yes.
How's your classes going so far?
It's good. I like my classes. As a freshman, it's nice to be able to take some of the introductory classes right now. I'm kind of in that introductory phase, and I like it a lot. I'm taking, the journalism school is still offering great classes for the freshmen. You take the J101 and J104. Mr. Watson, who's my professor in J104, shout out to him. He's awesome.
He is.
But I love J104 and J101 is great too. We have a great time with those classes. But it's crazy to think that we're getting close to the end of the in-person. I don't want to say the end of the semester because we still have finals and all that. But the in-person part of the semester is getting very close to being over. People are going to start to file out really soon for the holiday. And it's going to be crazy to think that we're getting to the point of talking about going home and seeing family and the holidays and all that. But I'm looking forward to the second semester. I've already registered for classes.
You have, yes.
Yeah.
I have as well. Actually did it as early as possible before that burnout happens that I'm sure everybody can relate.
Yeah, I don't blame you at all, for sure. I was in the same boat. I registered last week for classes, and I had a great experience getting classes I wanted to.
Yeah.
And it was nice to be able to do that.
That's good.
And then you know, what are your plans for the break? Obviously, we have a 2-month break this year after finals, which I believe is the 10th or the 11th is the last day of finals. And then after that, what are your plans?
Honestly, my plans, unfortunately due to COVID, I was going to travel to New Jersey to see my other family, but unfortunately we have to stay here in Kansas. But it is definitely something can relate. Everybody's going to be here spending time with their families. I'm sure you are as well.
Yeah, I'll be spending time with my family.
In Massachusetts.
I'm looking forward to seeing them, my grandparents, who I haven't seen in a long time, and some of their family members. So it'll be nice to do that, and I'm looking forward to the holidays.
Yeah. So I'm sure this is something everybody can relate to. We are in a rough and crazy time, but we will all make it through.
For sure.
But for now, stay tuned to Good Morning KU and all other updates after we will be back from our break.
Welcome back. I'm Jade.
And I'm Mackenzie. This is your Wednesday Good Morning KU news update. The election results are still not official, but according to Associated Press, Joe Biden has earned 290 electoral votes, while Republican opponent and incumbent President Donald Trump has 214. The states of Alaska, Georgia, and North Carolina are still too close to call. Biden's running mate, Kamala Harris, is set to make history as the first woman to become vice president.
Alex Trebek, the longtime host of the quiz show Jeopardy, passed away this weekend at the age of 80. The Canadian-born television star announced in March 2019 that he had been diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Trebek has been the host of Jeopardy since 1984, and his final pre-recorded episodes will run through Christmas.
Ben Carson, Housing and Urban Development Secretary, tested positive for coronavirus on Monday morning. Carson was in attendance at an election party where many were seen maskless, including White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, who also tested positive and is currently quarantined with the virus. Carson also seen without a mask at a Trump rally in Michigan last week.
After 4 weeks of The Bachelorette, Claire Crawley is engaged to Dale Moss and ended her time on the show early. In the latest episode, ABC brought in Tayshia Adams to take her place. Adams will meet with the 31 men on the upcoming episode of The Bachelorette.
In sports, KU soccer played to a 1-1 draw with Iowa State last week at Rock Chalk Park and now sits at 4-3-1 for the season. Senior Carrie Holland's third goal of the season gave the Jayhawks the lead in the first half with a little razzle-dazzle and a chip shot. The Kansas defense hung on the lead until the final minute of the match before letting Cyclone forward Courtney Powell lose on a breakaway for the game-tying goal. Both overtime periods went scoreless despite pressure from the KU forwards. KU will close the season on November 15th at Rock Chalk Park with the rescheduled match against Oklahoma.
And finally, a record-breaking performance in outdoor extreme sports. According to CNN, Emily Harrington became the first woman ever to free climb the 3,000-foot granite fence of El Capitan in Yosemite National Park. She is the fourth woman ever to scale this massive rock with no help from modern climbing technology, but the first one to ever do it in under 24 hours on the notorious Golden Gate route.
And that will wrap it up for today's news update. Please keep watching, and after the break, Jade will be back doing her regular job and tell us how long this cold spell is going to last.
Diversity. What is diversity? It can be an umbrella term for a variety of things, ranging from diversity among different people, places, cultures, and ideas to the way people express themselves and the way they interact with the world. In today's world, people interact with one another and share their thoughts through social media. Let's take Twitter, for example. How are people of different backgrounds, ethnicities, and sexual orientations with different political beliefs, interests, and job titles using this platform differently? Currently, celebrities are interacting with their fans on Twitter by speaking their minds, sharing their beliefs, and supporting social issues. Professional sports figures and organizations in the United States are using Twitter to support social causes and bring attention to current social matters, such as encouraging their fans to vote. Users are voicing their opinions about current issues surrounding racial inequalities, social injustice, and police brutality in the United States. There's diversity in the way people are discussing the upcoming presidential election, especially regarding their opinions of each candidate. Different news outlets are not only highlighting stories in the US, but are talking about important stories from around the world. But many Twitter users don't post about controversial matters or social issues at all. Rather, they use their platform to create memes and post funny content for entertainment. While many topics going around this app involve social issues and political opinions, Twitter creates a space where people can pull together collections of diverse thoughts, comments, opinions, goals, and even a little humor too. So how can we use this platform to express our differences? More importantly, how can we use it to learn from each other's differences today?
With your weather forecast for today. It's been very cold since that cold front moved in yesterday morning, but today we have good news. It's going to be nice again later this afternoon. That is not going to last very long because on Friday we have another cold front pushing through that's going to bring us cooler temperatures for the weekend as well as some possible rain. We haven't quite heated up yet today. 44 outside right now, lots of sunshine with some light winds. You can see there's no clouds in the sky as of right now. Pretty clear view on the satellite image. Don't really see any clouds for the rest of today either. We're going to get into the mid 50s for our high temperature, then back down to the 40s this evening. Our low tonight will be 33 degrees, partly cloudy, with those winds staying pretty mild at 4 miles per hour. Tomorrow we're going to heat back up. 59 degrees is our high. We're going to be back in that pleasant weather, lots of sunshine, and the winds are going to pick up a little bit from the southwest. See, those clear skies are because of the high pressure we are under right now. We're going to zoom out to this surface map. You can see that low pressure system, that cold front that pushed through yesterday morning. It is now on the east coast, bringing the east coast that rain that we saw yesterday. We're going to fast forward to Friday where we have that other cold front that we're going to see push through the area, giving us those cooler temperatures and rain. Now we're going to zoom out one more time over the Atlantic Ocean for your weekly hurricane update as it has been this year. So Theta is the newest tropical storm that we're looking at right now, and it is actually breaking records. We've never had a tropical storm Theta because we've never had this many storms. Now the other thing we're going to look at is that red circle. There's that tropical wave that's pushing through. It's not a storm, but it is going to hit Guatemala and Venezuela, which is devastating because they just got hit by Eta. And now speaking of Eta, we're going to look at that one too. It is projected to hit Florida sometime today. This is from this morning. This hurricane is pushing into the west coast of Florida. It's going to bring some tornadoes, flash flooding, and some storms in the area, but luckily in Lawrence, we're not seeing much of that right now or the rest of the week, especially this weekend. It's going to be very pleasant. 67 on Saturday, partly cloudy, getting down to 43 Saturday night, and then in the 60s again on Sunday with a lot of sunshine. That sunshine is going to be a continuous trend throughout the rest of the week. Like I said, we're going to get a little bit cooler on Friday with a high of 50, but then looking into next week, we're going to get back into the 60s once again. But that's all we have for you today on Good Morning KU. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you for our last episode next week.